We just wait 1 more minute and then we can start because yeah, it's we have a little bit of slides, so we need to make sure we go over it, and then they can join because yeah, some of them have it. They are just a little bit on delay. So. So Lilia, do you speak also? What language do you speak so far?
Uh, uh, Ukrainian, English, Polish, a bit Hungarian, Chinese.
Oh
I think
wow!
that's it.
Oh, I mean, what do you mean that's it? That's how many? Like five?
Dining?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she speaks five languages. And why do you want to speak French now? Why do you want to learn French? Hi, Javier. Hola.
I don't know. I wanted to learn French actually when I was a teenager, and then now I live in Canada. So I think it is good to know French as well.
Nice. That's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, also I don't know, maybe it can also help you for immigration in Canada. So that's pretty good. Pretty good
Yeah.
option.
Yeah.
So sad that Chinese is not in the list. It's so weird to find someone that speaks Chinese, that especially is not Chinese.
And it'll be really hard. Wow.
I know. Javier.
Yeah.
Hola, Javier. Hello.
Hola, hola.
Where are you connecting from?
Hola, buenas, ¿qué tal?
Bien, bien. You speak English or only Spanish? French?
Español.
¿Español?
Francés.
¿Hablas español? ¿De dónde eres?
Sí, yo hablo parlé español.
Okay, okay, okay. So I don't know. We're going to do the webinar today in English, right? So do you understand some English? Javier, Javier, ¿hablas un poco de inglés? ¿O solo español?
Yo estoy viviendo en Canadá, Quebec. Soy de Perú.
Okay.
Y Javier,
De Perú.
¿hablas un poco de inglés o español? ¿Prefieres en inglés o en español? Para ver si...
No, yo ahorita estoy recién en nivel 2 de francés, de la francización que estaba, ¿no? Pero ahorita ya nos han quitado, ¿no? A todos.
Yo sé, yo sé. Ok, ok. Entonces te
Bien.
sientes cómodo con español.
Sí, español, quiero aprender el francés.
Sí, sí. Ok, perfecto. Mhm. Okay, so we can start probably. Oh, wait a
Mhm.
second. Somebody's asking me. So, Alex, if you want, we can start.
Okay.
And then, yeah, you choose how you want to deliver. Maybe we can do half and half. I don't know.
Oh, so you're asking if we can do both English and Spanish at the same time?
I don't know.
Why
Or
not? For me,
I don't
it's
know.
okay.
I mean, I know you can do it. It's all completely up.
Yeah. It's just I want to make sure that both of them, Lilia and Javier, are you comfortable with that? ¿Está bien para ustedes si hacemos un poco de inglés, un poco de español para que entiendan los dos? ¿O qué piensas?
Does that work out? ¿Eso funciona para los dos? Yeah, you can do thumbs up in the app. Pueden hacer de pulgares arriba. React.
I just can't in Chinese. This is the only thing I can't.
No Chinese. Perfect. So someone just asked me for the link right now, so hopefully we're gonna have another one soon. But then yeah, I think we can start, Alex.
Okay, so let's start. Okay. So if you're here today, I guess it's because you want to learn French or to improve your French. Maybe you have some basis. I would like to ask you first, why do you want to learn French? Is it for work? Is it for fun? you want to migrate? I know Javier is already in Vancouver. I think you too, Lilia. Why French?
Okay, for me, it is because I love learning languages. And as I
Mhm.
said, like I wanted to learn French, and maybe, yeah, because I live in Canada, so that's for migration also.
Okay. Okay, cool. Wow. It's gonna be quite good for you, like 6 language. That's really good.
Yeah,
¿Y tú, Javier?
hopefully.
Javier, ¿por qué el francés? ¿Es la migración que te lo pide o por qué quieres aprender francés? Te veo en doble ahora.
Yeah, he's double now. Maybe he's just listening now. Javier, todavía,
Okay,
I'm gonna put it in the chat. You go ahead and then I'll see. Maybe he's having some. Javier,
okay, no problem.
oh, yeah.
So let's go. Okay, so there is something I think is really important when we talk about languages. I think not only French, I'm pretty sure that Lilia, you're going to recognize yourself in it also, that to learn a new language, it's not enough just to learn the language. You have to know how to learn. And after learning 1 and 2 languages, then it gets easier. Each language gets easier. If not, you would not keep going because it's really hard to learn one. So I think there's a big focus, I said here, on how to make progress, like small milestones on the way, and not trying to be perfect all the time. Be really consistent, to have small habits every day to learn the language, to dare to speak also. It's not only enough to learn something, you have to be able to try, and whatever, if you get wrong, someone corrects you, and that's okay. So it requires some humility and the courage to go and speak, of course. So I would like to understand really quickly, really quickly, we have time, what habits or what in your case helped you to make more progress. I would really love to ask you, Lilia, because 5 languages, do you know, or can you share maybe one of couple of habits that help you in any of these languages that you could share to us?
I think the most important is a system, having a system. If you like learning it at least like 2-3 times per week, you will have a result. If you just like start to learn it every day and then you stop for, I don't know, a couple of weeks, then you forget. So
Okay. So if you stop the process in the middle, then you just
yeah,
forget
it
everything.
doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it happened to me at the beginning many times with Duolingo. And you try Duolingo, and after 2 months you just stop, and you come back and wow, I forgot everything. You actually lose time and money when you invest in a program and just do some, like maybe 2 months or 3 months, and you learn. You might even get a level like A1, A2, and then you stop for 1 year, and it looks like you didn't learn anything, and you just got something on paper, and you can't remember anything. So yeah, I think this is really important. So I think really important also, and I see that a lot with my students, that instead of focusing on the reason why they want to learn, they focus on what to learn. They want to learn so many words or many structures of grammar, but then I can't really see a lot of practice. Like sometimes, why do you want to learn? So I want to be able to speak, but they never send audios or never speak to someone. Or if they want to improve the writing production, and they never write anything. So I think it's really important to be very clear in our mind. So what do I want to do, and practice these ways from the beginning. So day one, I want to be able to speak. I speak. I don't care if I make mistakes. I know that all of us, when I speak English, I'm definitely not perfect. I mean, you have my French accent. Maybe when Michelle speaks English or French, you may have some mistakes from time to time. It's really normal, and you will probably have mistakes forever, at least some mistakes, and it's okay. But it's really important to focus on why you want to learn, and make sure and share it with the teachers, with the schools you're learning with, so they can adapt the learning. Okay, that's really important. So we can personalize the learning in a way that works for you. That's not like a universal way of learning something. Okay, really important. And for me, very quickly, I did this to show you how I see it and how I work with languages. So I always try to find, so what's the purpose behind that? So I want to learn, what's my vision, why I want to learn that, what will be helpful for me. So I want to migrate, I want to live with the language, I want to work with it. So I always see that all the time. And then I know how to organize it. I know which goals would serve me, which tasks, how to organize my schedule, my time, my habits. Because you can be consistent doing the wrong habit and you will be an expert at something you don't need. And so something that I really see a lot. So you have a very good strategy, but it's not the strategy that you need for what you want. And then you go to, like for example, you prepare for the TEF exam for Canada, but you want to present the DELF. And then you arrive in front of the exam and you're completely lost because you don't know what's asked to you. Or you speak in front of someone and you have no idea what the guy is saying because you learn in a certain way. So always to connect first in what is important to me emotionally, so I never forget focus and I always have motivation to do it, even when it gets harder, because I know that my goals make sense to me. So this is just something a little bit like a maybe transcendental, I don't know, but it's like the way I always connect to learn something. Okay. So in the learning process, of course, in any language, and especially in French, we have different parts. We have the grammar, all the structures, how everything is connected, the different verbs, so the timeline, past, present, future, different kind of past, different kind of future, different kind of present, different modes, subjunctive, conditional, all of that looks like really complicated at the beginning when you see like, oof, everything I have to learn, I'm gonna have headaches all the time, looks really complicated. But if you separate it into chunks, it's like a big steak. If you try to put it in your mouth, you will never eat that, but you cut it into small pieces and then you can digest it way easier. Okay, so it's the same for language. It makes no sense to want to learn everything at the same time, to make like list of so much vocabulary, or to try to be able to pronounce perfectly everything. So everything has to be organized in a way that works for you and works for your goal. We will see that after like some different methods that can work and how to do that. But you have to divide your learning into logical parts and not trying to get everything and to get perfect at everything. We say that practice makes perfect. You can have like everything at the same time. In your case, Lilia, which of the languages was the hardest? I don't know if Chinese or maybe.
I think Hungarian for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I really love Chinese, so I spent lots of time on it and I enjoyed the process. And Hungarian is a bit more complicated and not that interesting because there are no characters, you know.
I thought it was, I had no idea, but I thought it was similar to Ukrainian. I didn't know that.
No, it's
completely
not
different.
similar. It's
Okay,
completely
okay.
different. Yeah.
Okay. And for you, which method would work best? In this case, for example, for Hungarian, did you focus more on grammar, pronunciation, listening, speaking, reading and writing? What was the process for you?
The Hungarian, it was mainly speaking. Maybe that was like because it was also hard for me because I was focused on speaking.
Okay. And how did you organize this in your routine to be able to, especially at the beginning when you had no idea how to speak, and you're living, I guess you were living in Ukraine or maybe in Vancouver already, but you didn't live in Hungary, or did you?
Uh, Actually, I'm from the area where some people speak Hungarian, so I knew some like phrases, words.
Mhm.
Yeah, but mainly my teacher helped me. She organized the process, and I wasn't focused on grammar. I just like was learning new words, a lot of like phrases. I was like reading, watching something, and then just discussed. And if something was incorrect in grammar, then he was explaining me what is wrong, like why it is in this way.
So you had
Like,
feedback. You had like live feedback. Okay, really important. Yeah.
yeah.
That's really important, especially when you live in Ukraine. You were, I don't know if lucky or you put yourself in the right situation, but in many cases we try to learn something. For Javier, for example, he lives. I think you live in Vancouver, Liga, but Javier lives in Quebec. Um,
Mhm,
I think it's always easier to test the language. You can try if it's wrong, someone will correct you.
mhm,
Especially in France, I would recommend not to just try that on the street. I know the reputation like French people have. Sometimes they don't really like when foreigners make mistakes. But when you go to students, they really love that. You go to a university or college city, and you will make a very easily like a group of friends. You have many like associations doing that, and this is a very good way to learn. When I was at college, I met so many foreigners learning French from many countries all over the world, and we were having so much fun learning. And I never felt like, oh, that's you said the wrong way. But I saw that in some parts when I speak Spanish. Usually in Latin America, it's like it's okay. People laugh a little bit just sometimes because it's funny what you said, but never you never feel like they're making fun of you. Like that's cool. That's cool. Someone learns our culture and they love that. And usually that's the way it is. So yeah. If you are not lucky to be in a place where you can practice the language directly, then I would suggest to find a partner maybe on no Facebook or group or school. You can have a teacher where you can.
There is also an app called Tandemly, I think, and there is like basically you chat with strangers, but then you chat in whatever language you want to learn. So like whether it's Spanish, French, English, Italian, you name it, like you can chat with other people there, and they learn your language, and you talk to them in yours. So basically, you switch languages.
That's
Yeah,
so cool.
so I think that's cool because you can also practice your writing, and that's nice.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah. The only thing with that, I mean, that's really cool, like to learn and to make fun and everything. Then if you want to prepare for an exam or have like
Yeah,
specific corrections, everything, then it's good to have a professional, but it can help a lot. It can help a lot, yeah, of course. So for me, practice, we already talked about that before with you, Lilia, for example, that consistent practice is extremely important, of course. I mean, you can't be passive. And even what you said, you can stop in the process. It's not like bicycle that, you say biking. I never forget and I come back at 40 years old and I can ride a bike. It's not the same. It's true. I think that if you stop learning, then you lose it, especially with languages, because it's something like it's so full of all the context and there's also psychological part. It's really, really hard. So consistency and to practice deliberately is really, really important. So I would say when you check podcasts, videos, Netflix, always to look at movies, to watch movies in the language with the subtitles in the same language, even if you don't get everything at the beginning, so you can listen and see what you listen at the same time. It helps you write better and also recognize better. And then if you know how it's pronounced, then when you listen to it to another in a conversation, then you can recognize exactly the word. And when you learn a new word, then you know directly how to write it because you can recognize the pronunciation. So for me, it's really, really important to shallow conversations. Space repetition is like doesn't have to be presented anymore. And then, with the flashcards, there's an app. I don't remember the name. Very good app. I think it's I don't remember. There's a very good app that you have like flashcards and you can even create your own. I have to look for this. Like Wiki something. I don't remember. It's really, really good.
I think I know which one you're talking about. Let me see if I.
Maybe you have that. It's like you can create your own list and you have lists created by other students and you can just you have the flashcards and there's always like the timing and it comes back to you until you get it. So you get wrong and then comes back until you get it. Yeah, Lilia, I saw you.
Is it Quizlet? No.
No, it's not. I remember that the phonetics is really not like that, but maybe this one is really good. I mean, I would follow your advice on apps to learn languages because you're the one who speaks more languages than all of us. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the one that I had that I don't know if it's that one, but it's Mosalingua.
I don't know.
I don't know if I don't think so. Maybe.
Yeah, we can maybe share later if we find this, or even you can write on the chat. Why not? If you the one you say Quizlet, I don't know, write it on the chat and maybe we can check later. Maybe it can be useful for one of us, or just share freely. Yeah.
I'll write it down.
So something that
Also,
is
guys, I'm gonna put also our WhatsApp group where we share everything for
Yeah.
French tips. It's a French community. I'm gonna add them right now in the group, but then they are also at the end of the presentation, but I will add them from now.
so something that is really important to me, and this is actually how I base my whole classes and my whole courses, always to simulate real life tasks. I think it's really, really important. I saw so many, and it's frustrating, so many students telling me, oh, I have B2, I got B2, and then you speak with them, it's like you're talking to book, and you can't even understand anything. And when you speak to them, they're like, what are you saying? I don't get you. Or they watch a movie on Netflix and they can't get anything. And I think it's not because they don't speak French, or it's not because they didn't have a good teacher, or they're not. Just because they learned in a way, like the same as before. Why do you learn? If you learn to be able to read Victor Hugo and to be able to read poetry in French, it's okay. If you want to speak in a real life, you need to practice real life. And usually it's not how it happens in most of the schools. So it's really, really important for me to know, so what you want. If you want to order food, just practice. I love to use mind maps and like real life situations. How would you do? How I would do as a native when I want to order food? If I want to introduce myself, to talk about my job, if I want to, I don't know, even to gossip with a colleague, how would I do that? Like real life situations, and not like how we would like to, like perfect. No native in any language speaks perfectly. This is something really, I think it's something we try to do when we learn a new language. We want to speak perfectly the language, and we forget that the people we're going to talk the language with are not speaking perfectly. I mean, they are speaking really natively, but not like with literature, grammar, books. It's really different. So I think this is something important. It's not, I don't say that in a way that you should learn in a wrong way. You have to learn obviously the good structures and everything, but in a way that is real. I think that's really important. There's a way to write emails, and it's sometimes not the way that is asked in an exam sometimes. So you have to learn different way. You have to learn what's expected from you in a specific task, in a specific exam for one day, but also at the same time, how would you be able to write an email to your boss if you work in France, if you work in Canada? I think that these are different things that you need to be able to learn. And then I think it's Slava from eTalk who told me that the way, I don't know if he or someone he knows that who learned, starting to learn like 2,000 words in a language, and then to listen to podcasts, and then to try to use in real life. But this is a method to experiment, to start with vocabulary, and then with enough words, you recognize to any situation, and you can learn with that. The method I really like for me is journaling. So to take my routine and every morning to write something, what I do, what I did, what I will eat, what I wear, the climate, the weather, everything, and then at the end of the day. So I practice future, past, everything, every day. So many methods can be used, and then you choose what works better for you. But you have to find your style. something that can't miss because we're in 2024, almost 2025, is to personalize the learning and to get personalized feedback also with ChatGPT. So I don't know if you use all of that, but I have here very quickly some prompts that you can take a screenshot or you can write if you feel that it can serve you. For example, to ask for a specific situation, to check for something, to have a correction of maybe an exercise you do. You had a conversation, or you're going to have a conversation with someone, or you're going to buy, I don't know, you're going to buy food and you want to have a very quick help from someone, and you don't have someone now right next to you, you can use ChatGPT. So here you have some ideas. Okay, so give me a conversational script to practice this, simulate a French exam for that level, correct this paragraph, and then you use that. That can be really useful. What habits did you use for you? Maybe you use ChatGPT, or maybe you have some tips how you set up your phone, or how you organize your environment to learn French. Even you, Michelle, I know that you learn French also. You're not native. Lilia, Javier, Luis, how do you put yourself in the right environment, and how do you ask for feedback when you have no French people next to you?
So for instance, for me, yeah, I use ChatGPT. I use like different, what is it called? Apps. So like I use the Tandemly. So you connect with other French speakers, which then like they're native. And then I have a couple of French friends. So like if I really needed to know something, I would ask them. Like, but then I think, yeah, like ChatGPT was useful. Like you can just do the voiceover, right? Not voice, it's not voiceover actually, just like the voice, like talk to ChatGPT and just ask for questions, ask for exercise, ask for like example test, example questions. I don't know, like very basic stuff. But that's how you can start probably. So for instance, right now myself, I'm learning Farsi, and then I am doing the same thing with the what is it called, with the vocabulary, right? Like learning just different words, and then you will connect them somehow. Because I feel, when I learned English and I learned French, I was still very young, and I was in that environment, like French environment or like English environment. But for a language where you don't have anyone to talk to, or like barely, it's harder to practice. You need words, you need to learn vocabulary. So I think that's important, because I don't know about journaling, if you are able to journal when you are A1, maybe some letters, maybe some things, but it's about like learning the basic, tools to be able to form sentences and things like that.
Yeah, you need some structures at least. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Do you use, Javier, Lilia, Luis? Do you use artificial intelligence? Do you use ChatGPT or something similar to get immediate feedback when you don't have a French person?
Actually, I never used ChatGPT to learn language. That's new for me. Because when I was learning languages, it was like a couple of years ago. So I think it wasn't that popular yet. For me, I think listening methods, like you were sharing about that practicing, that you were talking, like how did you spend your day, or yeah. So for me, I actually listen a lot of maybe radio or a TV show or films in that language that I want to learn. And then when I speak with someone, then it naturally just I can use these phrases.
There are new tools now that surprised me a lot, but I know a tool that you can have a conversation with PDF, or you can have a conversation with an actor in a scene in a movie, thanks to AI. So you can ask a question to PDF and then you can have a conversation. So you can actually have a chat with I don't know, with Shakespeare or with a French author or Michael Jackson or whoever you want. You can just take a song or take a book and you can just have a chat with the person. Because that's really funny. And I don't know, maybe you can do that with
So for that one, do you also hear the voice? If for instance you say like Michael Jackson, you hear the voice of Michael Jackson?
Oh, I don't know. That would be fun. That would that would be fun. Imagine if in French you have a conversation with Edith Piaf, like and you have like you can sing La Vie en Rose or whatever, and then you have a conversation with her. That would be so fun. And then you can learn the right.
So something that I realized when I was preparing for my TEF is that I didn't want to. It was hard to make a conversation with ChatGPT because I was already above like B1 B2 and it was like boring. So I was like, okay, how can I have a conversation without it being boring? Ask me about, present yourself, talk about your family, talk about your day. That was boring. So I just told ChatGPT when I was voicing like the voice. I told, pretend that you are Da Vinci. Pretend that you are Leonardo da Vinci, and I want to talk to Leonardo da Vinci. So I was talking to ChatGPT as is they were Leonardo da Vinci. So I would ask questions about your what is your infancy like? Who were your parents? Like what was your first art piece and things like that. But it was really cool because it was interesting since I was actually talking to someone and learning, and then they will also ask me questions and I would answer. So I think it's the same. You can also do it with the regular ChatGPT. You just have to give the right prompts.
Imagine doing that in the language you're learning, for example, French, and anytime you don't get a word, an expression or something, you can simply ask, what did you mean? Can you explain me that in French? Can you give me the structure? Can you explain me the tense that you're using? Anything. And then you get immediate feedback on whatever you need to learn. What's the etymology of that word? I don't know. How would you use a synonym? What would you do if I had to talk about you on an exam? What would you like me to tell about you? I don't know, something that would be funny to use that. So yeah, the best way for me to use AI always, because you always can have a teacher, you always can have a native person if you look well on the internet now. It's really hard not to find someone. But I would say for time, even when you have teachers, usually you have classes, and you can't always have like so many tasks, so many homework all the time. And imagine if you have to invest in so much time, so many hours. So you can use AI, you can use ChatGPT in this case, but other tools to have self-correction. So what I would do, and I did that really recently with a student, I would say, so act as an examiner for this specific exam I'm preparing for. Here is the evaluation criteria. You can find it on the internet. So I give you the sheet, analyze that, and then here's the text I just wrote. Analyze it and correct it the way the examiner would do. Do you think I would reach that level? What should I do? Give me some tips, whatever. And then you get exactly what you're looking for. It's way better than to ask correct myself, because I can see that. I saw that many times. I think Michelle, we talked about that one day. ChatGPT makes so many mistakes when you're not precise. Just correct myself and just give me, do I have B2? And many students come to me and say, oh, ChatGPT told I had B2, and then they give me the text and it's full of mistakes. So it's really important to not trust and
No, you
100%.
have to be critical with yourself because ChatGPT is pretty nice. It's a pretty nice bot if you don't ask it to be rough. So you have to ask deliberately to be rough with you and to give criteria how to grade you so that ChatGPT can grade you. But it's really useful. It's really useful, especially when you're learning by yourself or you need some extra help. It's very useful.
Yeah, it can be even less aggressive. If you ask ChatGPT, for example, ask as if you were the most severe teacher I could meet in my life and be, because when you have a real teacher correcting this way, usually it's really hard because you have ego coming also in like, oh, that teacher is so bad. Just do that with ChatGPT and you get mad at ChatGPT. That's perfect. That can work also. You can use for grammar pronunciation checks is a bit harder. You have to find the right tool. I don't think ChatGPT does that, or maybe in the the version you can pay. Even if you're not sure about something cultural. So I would say that, or I would like to say that, does this convey the message I want to give the other person? So all of that, you can ask specifically what you want and it works. I tried that. Okay, so let's change to the roadblocks and at the contrary, what helps us to go faster in our learning. So I put some that I think are common, but maybe you face different ones. So the common roadblocks are to focus too much on one specific skill. For example, you want to speak and you speak and you speak and you speak and you don't take care of the writing, for example. At the beginning can work, or the contrary, it works for a while and then you get blocked at a moment that it's too late because you have so many bad habits. It's really hard to go back in time. Well, I see also some methods, some teachers. I don't want to speak. I don't want to brag of no one, but I saw some method like learn in 1 month, and you don't need grammar. Grammar is not necessary. You don't have to learn grammar to speak English or whatever. Huh? You don't have to practice every day. You just have to use a My app. That's perfect. No. So you really need to be something complete. I would use like maybe, I don't know, like tennis. If you take like Rafael Nadal and really good with one skill, and then you have Roger Federer that is really good, a little bit good at everything, and then he get it's number one. So you have a very good player that is good a little bit at everything, and then you have someone really good at one thing. And one day, if you meet someone that is good at everything, then you're not you're not as good. So I would always recommend to try to balance. Always,
And also,
especially at the beginning.
I will mention something specifically if you are thinking to do the test for immigration purposes, they what is it called? They test the 4 skills. So you cannot, because especially with French, so many people have, and you have had experience that, Alex, is that people have B1, B2 at speaking, but in writing, they still make A1 mistakes. And that's the problem with French, because the way you speak is different than the way you write it. So you can be really good at speaking. You can have live in France, live in, a French speaking country. But if you don't write, it's gonna be completely different experience. So you need to practice the 4 different skills.
Yeah, and it's really frustrating. I saw in some students because they can speak. That's true. But even if the way, I mean, if you're native and you recognize some things, you know that it will be written wrongly. But sometimes no. Sometimes it's some like I don't know, like the feminine or the plural in French. You don't see the difference. You can listen to the difference because you have so many letters that you don't really pronounce. But then when you write, this is completely different, and then it's really hard because there's no way to go back to only writing and correct the writing without having the student lose confidence in the speaking. I think it's really important that you have fun. You can see that I can have a conversation, I can have fun, I can understand when I watch a movie. I love that. And then you have a teacher because you need to take an exam and you need to have a good writing. And you do that, you focus so much on the writing and you realize, oh, I make so many mistakes, and then you lose the confidence to speak. And then that's really hard. So sometimes something that can happen. It happened to me with salsa dancing. I stopped dancing because I was having fun without knowing I was not doing something perfect, but I was having fun. Then I had a teacher correcting every single mistake in the background, and I was like, oh, no. I lost motivation. And I know it hadn't happened with the language. That's true. I mean, and I know students who told me that also. I said, yeah, but when I came, I thought I was speaking, and now I realize I don't. No, when you speak well. I said, yeah, but no, now I know I do so many mistakes. I have the feeling that they are speaking, and they are like how do you say, like lightnings coming, like, oh, every time I speak now I know I do a mistake. I have the feeling that everyone is looking at me, but that they don't. But that's the feeling when you know that you're making so many mistakes. You realize that, and then it's like a big roadblock. So yeah, always going progressively. And also something you can imagine a pyramid. So at the beginning, you have a big base. And then the more you learn at the beginning, then the faster always you get like narrower, and you can learn less things and you go faster. But if you don't do that at the beginning, then you do the contrary. It becomes like a sand clock, something like that. At the beginning, you have some feeling that it's going all good, and then you have to relearn everything, and it's even harder. So, especially you, if you come as beginners, it's really important that you focus on being really balanced on everything, and then you choose when you feel confident enough, when you have a good base, then you can choose to focus on one more than another, maybe, but always keep in mind to have a good balance. And then for the accelerators, like we said before, like to immersion. So listen to always podcasts, speaking with natives, surrounding ourselves with other learners, especially the ones already a little bit higher than ourselves, so we can have like peer review, peer correction, journaling, habits. I would put my cell phone, setting up the cell phone in the language with a predictive. So you start a word, and then automatically you have the full word writing itself. So you have visually, you know, everything. The menu, so maybe you can find your alarm clock for a week, and then that's okay. And then or maybe you want to read something. Oh, I don't know where I put that. I don't remember that. It's okay. Then I think you find it, and you have everything in French. That would work. And you can personalize around content that you love. I always recommend to watch movies that you know by heart. If you love Gladiator, you love the Titanic, just put that in French with subtitles, even if it's not a French movie, whatever, because you recognize, you know exactly what is being said in that scene. So then you have that in your mind, and instead of having that in English, you have it in French. So this is something that can be really good. Okay. Okay. So this, just quickly to show you, like I have only I put only one here, but I have other stories. This student, she's a Colombian student. Her name is Camila, and she came to me to said, I think the year is here, 2020, yeah, 2020. I was in Colombia, and she wanted to get A2 because she wanted to be au pair. I think you know. I think you say au pair also in English, right? In France, and they were asking for A2. She came, she had zero level. She didn't know, she didn't even know bonjour. I remember that, like, in the first class, I said bonjour. She said, what? That was really funny, because usually students always know that word. And yeah, for the first hours, she felt like it was a bit intensive. That I remember that the first hours was a bit complicated, that not a lot of practice, not a lot of work. And then the moment that she started to study and to form habits and to use the journaling and to send audio and everything. And here, as she wrote that in her story on Instagram, that in less than 25 hours, I got my A2. So this is a true story. Okay, this is a student who told at the beginning, I will never be able to learn. The first hours were really challenging, and she was almost giving up. And then we had good conversations and focusing, and then in the few hours that were missing, she got that from zero, and she got the A2, and she was able to go and to live her dream. She wanted to go to France. She wanted to take care of children there, and yeah, she did that. So this is one of many. There are other ones. The other ones, I don't have like the photo of everything. I have the comments they write, but this one is because it's a story. So I think it's really I like that. I can see the emotion that she shared through the story. That's why I wanted to share this one. But just imagine in a few months, maybe that you can share that to not to us, not to me, but to your friends, to your family, to your, I don't know, your partner in life, partner in crime, whatever. And you can say, oh, I did that. Yeah, really, in how long? Just like not even 30 hours. I got that level. So, whoa, really? Just imagine that. In your case, Lilia, how long did it take you to learn Hungarian? I'm curious.
That's a nice question. Actually, for I think A2 or B1, I was learning 1.5 or something like that years.
1 year and a half. Okay.
Yeah,
You were
from
like
one to
practicing every day?
I was really practicing almost every day and learning it really hard.
Okay. Yeah, some languages are really hard, like Spanish. I remember when Spanish, not Spanish, Japanese. I tried Japanese when I went to Tokyo in 2015. I remember I had my floor filled with flashcards and like the kanji, everything, and I just like I had to live like surrounded by kanji. I was like dreaming of kanji everywhere, and that was crazy. And for the first 2 months, I had the feeling I was reminding everything, and then one day I just stopped practicing, as you said, and I just forgot everything. But just yeah, so always consistency. Okay, so um, just quickly some methods. We talked about that a bit earlier. You know, like the to learn 2000 high frequency words for trying to use them, routine journaling, thematic listening, gamification. We didn't talk about this one. I mean, we talked about some apps, but more apps about flashcards and learning. But there's something, just an idea, an app with a student that is like something to give discipline. So you actually connect your bank account. I don't know if you know this one, Michelle. You connect your bank account and you put like at the end of each week or each month, you have milestones and you have to send pictures or to do a test, something. If you get the test and you get a good score, then you can keep going. If you get wrong to that, you have automatically an amount that you decide previously that goes directly to a foundation or to a friend or whoever you want, connecting your bank account. So you're losing money or you're giving money to a cause if you're not getting good. So you like just something to get disciplined. A bit strong, but yeah, that's fun at the same time. Yeah.
What's the name of the app?
Oof, I don't remember. I actually don't want to remember because this is really hard, I think. I don't know if I would do that. Because at the same time, if you connect the app to a foundation, it's oh, it's okay. It's okay. I didn't get my French, but I'm helping children. It's like, oh yeah, yeah, you always find a justification not to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's yeah, but it was just fun. I remember that was something funny. Okay, so I would like to ask you, what's your goal as you're here for French? Luis and Lilia, what's your goal with French for the next 3 months? How do you imagine yourself in 3 months with French?
Start learning it. Because I'm really beginner, I know nothing about French, like except few words. Yeah, maybe
Okay.
just start learning through some apps like Duolingo or something.
Okay.
Spend it like 10-15 minutes. So it's not too overwhelming and just like trying to learn it almost every day.
And would you implement the same habits as you did for the other languages? Would you try to maybe to I don't know,
Yeah,
personal
maybe listening, maybe just like I will
Okay.
try to learn some French music, French songs, and maybe it's like you said, movies that I watch that I know already. I'll
Huh?
watch it in French with subtitles. Yeah.
Okay. No, I have a student now, it's Anna. We actually have class right after. She almost every class she say, "Oh, I know that word." I heard that on in the song. She always says that. She listens a lot to music.
What?
Anna, she says to me all the time, "Oh, I remember in a song. I heard that in the song. I remember," and she knows the vocabulary thanks to the songs she listened to in French.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
that's so
fun.
nice.
Always.
It depends on the people. Like, for instance, even myself, I cannot remember the lyrics in Spanish, which is my mother tongue. So
Yeah, me neither in French. Yeah.
I don't know. It depends on the people. Also, Luis answered on the chat. He says, "My goal for the next 3 months is speaking well French." So he wants to start speaking well, pretty good.
Okay. But it means, Luis, that you already have some basics, right? You already took some classes and Okay, listen to French
I
music.
think he might be living in Montreal. So
Mhm.
he says daily habits, I will implement listening to French music,
Mhm.
reading books in French, and practice.
I think I remember you, Luis. I think you came to a French-speaking club a couple of times, maybe more. I remember your name. I don't know if it's you, but I think you came already. Your name sounds familiar to me when I saw you. Yeah.
Luis, ¿en qué parte de Canadá estás? ¿Estás en México o en México, en Latinoamérica?
Vancouver.
Ah,
Vancouver. Ajá.
Ya.
Pero ya viniste un jueves en la mañana, creo, ya te vi. Sí, yo creo que
Luis, ¿habías ido a un speaking club o todavía no vas a un speaking club los jueves en la mañana? Creo que estás muted. Ay.
Estuve una vez viendo, pues,
Ah,
sí, me
sí,
gustó un poco la
recuerdo.
temática. Y pues
ajá.
ya,
Ujú.
pues quiero seguir, ¿no? Estoy practicando bastante.
Ah, ok, súper.
Solamente que quiero mejorar mi pronunciación porque me da vergüenza hablar. O sea,
Okay,
Está
okay.
bien.
si no lo hablo
Ajá.
bien, no se vea como...
We all make mistakes. Also, Liliana, I don't know if you know, but we have speaking clubs. So right now we just have one in when is it? On Thursdays. But then
Thursday mornings. Ajá.
gonna open a second one on Saturdays. So you can also join. I know that right now you just want to start learning. So it's gonna be, probably the second step, second, third step, but it's good for you to join and practice your speaking as well.
That would be great. Yes, thank you.
And okay. And how would you measure your progress? How would you know in 3 months or maybe in 6 months? How would you know that you progress?
Take a test, maybe, it's like reading good in French, and maybe I have a good conversation in French that, okay, you understand, and then I understand you.
Okay. Mhm. That would be cool. Okay.
Something that I think is very important, especially right now that I see it with Farsi that I'm learning, is like I need to get tested. Like I need a test, like every 2 weeks, every month. Otherwise, you might not be actually doing that much progress. And then you feel stuck, right? And it's just because you are not keeping yourself accountable enough. So like probably testing yourself somehow. But I don't know. I don't know if you have any other suggestions.
Yeah. Okay. So just to imagine, just in French or in any language, like how will your life be? Just sometimes you can even do these are the meditation practice. Sometimes how would be my life if I spoke fluently and I could express everything I want? If I could watch all of my favorite movies or read my favorite authors, how would I feel to be every day, if you live, I know, I think it was Javier, he's not here anymore, living in Quebec. But imagine if you can listen to people talking and to you and you feel really confident about it. So all of that, just imagine how it would be. Sometimes it helps to remember it, and especially when it's a moment of challenge. We always have something that we want to give up. Just remind how life would be. And why did I start always? It's like going to the gym, you go, oh, it's hard. And then you look at the mirror and say, oh, I know, I have to keep going. So,
Something that I'd like to add there. So like the first time that I went to
Mhm.
Montreal, I didn't speak French at all. Like, and I remember my aunt just taught me to say, je parle pas français, je sais pas parler français. And that is the only thing I knew. Is like, I don't speak French. So like, just kind of don't talk to me. And then I just learned that in that trip, very little vocabulary. And then like 1 year, 2 years later, I came back and then I could understand so much more. And it just feels empowering, honestly. It's just like opening a new world.
yeah, that's true. I remember a sentence that I've been saying in Africa, and I was learning the local language really hard. And they told me that two people never learn: the one who thinks he knows, and the one who doesn't dare to speak. It's like the one who always knows, like when Socrates saying that the only thing I know is that I don't know. So if you're humble and you know that you don't know and you try, that's okay. If you think you know everything, because that's really hard. Some students come and the ones that we talked about before that say I have B2 because ChatGPT told me, or because I had an exam saying I have B2 at that. And then when you listen to them, it's not true. It's really, really hard. So being humble and knowing that, okay, I might speak comfortable or maybe in some situations, but I have a teacher, or I have another situation in which I didn't feel that comfortable. So what can I do to improve that? Always, for me, I speak Spanish now almost perfectly, but in some situations, really specific. In some, I don't know if I speak with a lawyer, if I speak with an engineer, whatever, I would get lost. That's normal. So getting corrected, I can see that sometimes really hard. So you feel in your ego like, but I speak every day perfect, and you want to say, but I speak well. I said, but if a native says to you that you're not, then you're not. That's like humbling, but you have to get real about that. Okay, so this is I think it's the last thing about how to learn French or any language. Actually, what you said at the beginning, Lilia, that consistency, always the same. There's a cost, whether you make progress or whether you're losing level. There's no such thing as if I don't learn or if I just stop and I make a pause, then I will keep what I have and I can just take it the same level later. It doesn't work with language, especially with language. It doesn't work like that. If you stop making progress, then you're not keeping the level, you're losing it. So it's or you lose or you win, but you can stay there. So it's always an alignment, a constant alignment, maybe until you get a very, very, very high level and you live for many years in the country and you have like very big confidence with the language, but you still lose a little bit, of course. So it's
Even
something
in your
really
own
important to.
language, like I feel I don't speak Spanish anymore, because I don't practice my Spanish at all. Like sometimes I just forget so many like vocabulary and conjugations. Sometimes it happens that for like the what is it called? Kind of the verbs or like the adjectives that are not common, like like they have a special structure. Sometimes I forget or I say it wrong. So yeah, even in my own language. Now I feel that I don't speak anything. I don't know.
Yeah, that's something really, unfortunately, but that's really true. I can see that. That's really like so the ideal situation that you have fluency and you achieve it, you have your exams, but some people who had they B2 10 years ago, I think you had already, we had like a couple of clients like that saying that, yeah, I want to come back to French and have some conversation classes because I got my B2 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and I want to practice again. And they can feel when you speak that it's not that fluent. So it's normal. It's just normal. But especially at the beginning, when you try to learn French and you take classes at the beginning, it's just a recommendation. Obviously, you do whatever you want, but you like a class 2 months and you feel it's a bit hard or you have a hard situation, maybe it's always good to force a little bit and try, okay, I started, so I have to find a way. Like you go to the gym and then 1 month it's like, it's a bit hard. I have, it's $20 I have to put, and then it's like, and then you stop for 2 months and then you come back, it's like having lost the 2 first months. So sometimes it's like, keep going, even if it's hard, try to invest in that new learning for years or maybe for many months until you get comfortable enough so you can you can keep going with that. It's sometimes a bit hard to understand that, but it's really, really important because you can be losing money, losing your time, everything, and you come back and it's really frustrating and you feel like you're never going anywhere, and you take like a course each year for 2 months, and after 10 years you didn't get anywhere. It's like, oh, I know the basic words and that's it. So it's something that I think is really important to take into account. Okay. Okay, so I think for the content I wanted to share with you, I think that's it. I don't know if you have any questions about what we shared, if you want to share anything.
No, thank you for the your experience, sharing with your experience. Actually, it was really knowledgeable for me to know about ChatGPT, like to ask questions, and that it really helps in learning.
Okay. I think Michelle, I think you can take, you can speak about what, because you know a bit more of that, about like the group we have and all of that, because that would be nice to have all of you and to connect and even chat together and share resources and all of that. So maybe you can
Yeah,
talk
of
about
course.
that.
So I know that you, Luis, you have already been in the French. Oh, by the way, I said I never mind. It's just a joke in the chat. When you speak so many language, you instead of being bilingual, you're bilingual, which is funny. Anyways, I don't know if you feel like that, Lilia, but like that's how I feel. Like the more I add languages, the more I feel I don't know anything. But then it's nice to communicate in different languages. It's just like you are
Yeah,
not none of them. That's how I feel.
yeah.
Luis,
Sometimes I speak in English, and then sometimes I speak in French, and then sometimes I speak in Portuguese, and then Spain. And then when I try to remember some words in Spanish, I don't know how to say it. Spanish and then English and then Portuguese. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm bilingual.
you don't remember the word in any language, and you're just like, okay, just never mind.
Yeah,
So tell you some
never mind.
context. I remember when I first came in Latin America and I was working in hotels. I was doing like you know, front desk in hotels, and I was like, I needed to count the caja, the
Money.
register, the cash, the money. I had to count it in French. I would make mistakes in the numbers, counting in another language. And now
Yeah.
I do everything automatically, because after 10 years I think that's normal. But even when I sleep, when my girlfriend is with me and I sleep and she said, "But you spoke in another language tonight." I say, "Yeah, probably French," because the subconscious is still speaking in French. So that's funny. But yeah, in some situations I can see that I think in Spanish, because it's easier to me. I work in Spanish every day. I speak in Spanish every day. So even when a French student asks me for a specific word, sometimes I have to look for it. But I know perfectly the grammar. I know perfectly the structures. But some specific words, sometimes I know
Yeah,
exactly in Spanish.
yeah,
That's
it's the vocabulary that gets a little bit messed up.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's just funny. But
Yeah.
but it's nice to be able to communicate in different languages. It's just like sometimes your cables get mixed up, and that's the problem. That's when like a little like electricity cut happens. But yeah, so I know Luis, you're already part of the speaking club. So like we are gonna be opening one on Saturdays, but I don't think this year anymore. So that will be like a 2025 project. But then you're free to join Lilia as well. And then the last slide of the day. So we have a TEF preparation course starting from zero. It's a 40-week program. So basically, this is a program specifically designed for the preparation of the French immigration test for immigration. So it takes you from zero to B2 in 40 weeks, but it's very specific to TEF preparation. So since A2, you start doing exam prep, practice questions and everything. And then if you want to keep improving your French after that, you can keep doing it with B2, C1, etc. But then this is specific for people that want to, like ACE exam, not ACE exam, or like get the minimum amount, which is LCB level 7 for immigration purposes. And then that's why it's a little bit intense. But then right now we're having a 40% off. So the regular price is $115 per week for 10 hours of training at least. But then right now we're doing it so basically it's 1,200 for every week. But now we're giving the first 8 weeks 60% discount. So if you go, Alex, to the next slide. Yes. So this is basically the limited time offer. Instead of paying $1,200, which is the regular price, you're gonna be paying $480 for the first 8 weeks of classes, which is one level. So that will be A1 or A2, depending on your level. And then the next start date is January 6th. And this promotion so far is only eligible for January. And yeah, so this is a link. Not today, but probably tomorrow, we will send you an email with all the details so you can check it out as well. But then, yeah, this is basically like an amazing opportunity for for you to get started on your French as soon as possible and achieve your immigration goals, if that's what you're wanting to. Since, you know, like so many people, they have 1 year of their work permit, 1 year of the study permit or whatever, and they need to figure out their immigration situation ASAP. So this is basically made for that, for them to be able to pass their exam as soon as possible. So yeah, any of you are interested, actually, I would love to hear. How are you guys
Oh.
planning to start?
How long does this program takes? Because it's like your first 8 weeks of classes, or it's like 8 weeks it means 2 months, right? But it costs only for 408, right?
Yeah, so the whole program is 40
And then
weeks. It's 9
40
months,
weeks,
more or less. Yeah, so 9 months.
9 months.
And then the first 2 months is a 60% off. After that, because you guys are already, we will be already like ETOC students, you always get discounts. So that's something that we will for sure honor. But then the offer right now is getting the first 8 weeks for 60% off. And if you're talking about the dates specifically, let me get you their number. So if it starts on January 6th, that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so basically it ends exactly on February 28th. The first level, which will be A1 or A2, depending on your level. But yeah, that's something that could be done.
How many days that class is going to
Yeah,
be?
so
is
basically
going
for
to
the classes are very dynamic and especially focused for the exam. So there is classes with the tutor, which in this case, one of them will be Alex. There is
Yeah.
more speaking clubs. There is writing workshops, because we need to force people to speak and to write, right? Because it's not only about listening, it's not only about reading, it's also about being able to speak and write. So we make a specific times for that to happen. And there is also weekly sessions, which are Q&A. So for questions for the exam, for the homework, practice questions, anything that you are missing from, you know, like from your teacher, you can go to the weekly Q&A sessions and then get your questions answered. And also, if for whatever reason you are not able to make it to any of the speaking sessions, writing workshops, classes with the tutor, we're going to send you a recording within 24 hours, so you can access the recording and do it on your own pace at your own time. And then for the questions, if you need, you can always contact your tutor directly, or go to the questions Q&A sessions. So in terms of time, it would take we recommend at least 8.5 hours per week. But then you can access to like 12, 13 hours per week, but it depends a lot on your availability.
Okay, I get it. If when I can do it, right? For example, I would like to take this class in the morning or sometimes in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And the evening for me is not working for me. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. So basically we have a specific time slots, and yes, like there is time slots in different in the morning, in the evening, and in the middle of the day. So like we recommend you to keep your times, like choose a time slot that works best for you. But if for whatever reason you cannot make it that time at your time slot, you can go to the morning, you can go to the evening. So that's an option. It's just that you would change your classmates basically. But then it's always an option. And then the second plan B is also get the recordings. So whatever works best for you.
Yeah, I prefer to live to take on live, because I can practice more better, so I can realize my mistakes.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Yeah, that helps a lot for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Lilia? Do you want to start French as well?
I'm wondering how intense this program is. Like, because you said how many 9 months and to reach B2 level, right?
Yeah.
So it should be pretty intensive then.
Yeah, so this is very intensive. We recommend everybody to at least spend 2 to 3 hours per day. But then of course the classes, so the classes and the workshops are 2 hours, and the speaking session is gonna be 1 hour and a half. The Q&A sessions is 1 hour, but then it also depends on you, right? Like how much more effort are you putting after the live training? But yeah, that this is also depends a lot on your needs. If your needs right now is, you know, like maybe not, you don't have any pressure on like getting the results for the immigration exam, maybe we can do some individual classes, you know, just 1 or 2 per week with Alex or with any other tutor, and you just take it more like slower. But then it's always an option depending on your needs, basically.
Mhm. Yeah, because for me, I'm a student and a full-time student, and I think I won't be able to learn French that like intensive. That's why I'm asking, like, if it is
Yeah, yeah, I mean,
possible to. Mhm.
But
yeah,
can I add
something that
something?
go ahead.
Yeah, I think that intensity depends on many things because I think in 9 months, the way I do it personally, like in 9 months, you can have a lot of context, like vocabulary and lexical context, everything. But I think once you get the basics at the beginning, you understand the logic of the language, how the timeline works, how the times and all of that. It's not really. I really don't think it's really complicated. Especially, I would say, especially for you, Luis, because Spanish and French have so many similarities, and it can be really fast to learn it. Once you understand that it works like a mirror, it's like almost the same. If you get the right logic. Then I don't know, Lilia, but I think in your case that you learn different languages and even complicated ones. So once you get the same, once you get you get the timeline and you know how everything is connected, then you use exactly the same first, maybe the first 2 months, and then you just apply it to new contexts, and you just know any context you use past, future, present, some different forms. It's not really, I really don't think it's that complicated. Uh, maybe it makes no sense to hear that like that now, like that, and it would be nice to be able to show you, maybe in another occasion, to show you like how it's organized, how it will be organized. So maybe you have, like how you say, like a, I don't know, panorama, or like an
The
overview.
whole picture. Mhm.
Yeah, an overview of how it's interconnected. Because once you get how it's interconnected, you understand that actually it's not so many things that you need to learn to be able to use it. It looks like that at the beginning, but once you understand what you need to learn, you can see that it's only 4 or 5 big things that you need to learn, and then you just connect it together, and that's it, and you get the right tools, and that's it. And during the 9 months, it doesn't mean that you have to pass an exam at the end of the 9 months. You get the content, and then you can keep going and keep using the tools that you got, because we don't remove the tools from you at the end of the course. You can take it, so then if you know how to use it, you just keep going with that, and that can be really useful. It will
Yeah.
always be faster than just doing a 800 or maybe a 900 years with a French alliance, something like that.
Yeah, and then something that I have to say is that learning A1, I mean, at least for me, that's my experience. Like getting something like a language started, I think at least from the beginning, just for A1 maybe, you need like some sort of help, right? Like what do you need to learn? What is important? And then once you have the basics, then you can do it yourself. You can go from there. But then you need at least the basics, which a lot of people can do by themselves, or at least me. I have a better time getting some help at the beginning. And then from there I can probably do my own. But then it depends a lot for sure. So
Thank you.
Yeah. So I will share, and that's another thing, Lilia, that I want to share with you as well. So this is a promotion for the group classes. So these are group. However, If you say, Michelle, like, and honestly, I don't think I have time in my schedule right now to start like this intensive course, but I want to do like one-on-one classes, private classes with like less intense. So like just 2 hours per week or something like that. We can make it happen, and I can talk to my boss about getting a discount for you. So that's an option too. Since you came to the workshop, so sorry, to the webinar, I think that's also 100% doable. So we can make that happen.
Thank you. So
Problem.
if there's like one more question, if it is like group classes, so then it will be like 2 times per week, right?
Yeah, so basically the lessons, the training with the teacher,
Uh-huh.
they teach you like the new stuff and everything, is twice per week, 2 hours every day. So basically it's 4 hours per week, but then there is the workshop, which is 2 hours per week as well. And then the writing workshop, and then the speaking club, which is 1.5 hours. Plus the questions. I can send you also also to you, Luis. I can send you guys like the flyer with more details of the program.
We
It would
have
be
another
great.
Yeah, we have another discount after the first 8 weeks. Maybe I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's something that we can for sure talk about, because we have big discounts if they buy the 40 weeks out of the bat. So I don't know if you want to do that, but then for sure we can talk about it to kind of lock a price for you. So that's an option, especially if you can, even if it's in payments or something like that, we can make that happen. But yeah, I can text you. Yeah, and actually, Alex, can you go to the next slide? I think there is some other thing left. Yeah. So Luis, I don't know if you're already part of the WhatsApp group, but there basically is everyone that is learning French and that is attending the group, the speaking club. So Lilia and Alex, if you want to join the WhatsApp group, here is also, we are creating a new Facebook group, which is also where we're gonna share all the resources, new content from TEF, from the government, anything that is related to TEF in French learning, we're gonna be sharing it
Excuse
there.
me,
So
can you send me the link of WhatsApp group and Facebook group, please?
yeah, of course. Let me, I think just give me 1 second. I'll put it in the chat. So this is the speaking club, and this is the Facebook group. And then feel free to join there. And also Alex, he likes sharing like funny memes. So you're gonna see those as well in the WhatsApp group. Alex, that you share funny memes?
What do you want me to share?
No, that in the WhatsApp group you share memes, French memes. Memes.
Yeah, sometimes I have like maybe oh sorry, I can. Do I have it somewhere?
Yeah, he likes to do that. And then what else?
Thank
Okay,
you.
so I think that's good. Do you guys have any questions?
No, thank you. So
Okay.
we will be waiting for the emails from you,
Yes.
right?
We're gonna be
Ah,
sending it
fine.
tomorrow. And then if you guys have any question, oh, another thing that I forgot, I mean, it's gonna come in the email, but then Alex, he's gonna be doing a demo test, a trial demo test on Saturday at 6 p.m. Vancouver time. So 6 p.m. Vancouver time, he's gonna be doing a demo test, which is gonna be for beginners, for full beginners. And the point of that class, Alex, actually, you can explain what's the kind of the main goal of that class is for you to realize that you can make it happen. Like you can learn French and it's not as hard as you think. And then you're gonna like leave that class knowing like something, right, Alex? That's the goal?
Okay. You mean for Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
I think like to give a class like that, like just a class, one class, will not be the most convincing way. I think the way I think to do is, as I told you before, Lilia, that to show like a big overview. I think, and how everything is interconnected. I think it's way more useful, so you can see exactly, so that you don't need a lot to be able to do a lot. That's the idea. So that's what I want to show you, and maybe maybe I can do it at the same time for English speakers and for Spanish speakers, so you can see everything. But basically, I like to see the timeline. So how many tenses we have, at least the ones we use, because you know you have some that you can see in some schools that you will never use. It's just to be able to recognize if you read like very big literature or whatever, and to see exactly what kind of verbs you need at the beginning. And I might maybe, I don't know, maybe give a PDF with some verbs to learn, something like that. So you can see it's really not, we say in French, it's not the sea to drink. That's the expression. C'est pas la mer à boire. Yeah.
What
Yes.
is the drink?
Sorry,
Yeah,
Liz.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
When you say
not-
it's not that hard, it's not, you don't have to
No.
drink the whole sea. It's just not that
Okay.
hard, you know?
yeah, yeah.
not
Can you tell me again, please, what time is it going to happen Saturday?
It's Saturday at 6 p.m. Vancouver time.
6 p.m. Great.
We're gonna send it because we are just planning it today, so we
Mhm.
haven't had the link, the registration link, but we're gonna send it tomorrow, so you guys can register. And then yeah, like I think it will be good to also learn the basics, like hello, how are you? So everybody exits the class knowing how to present themselves and you know like how old they are and things like that. I think that would be fun, just that so they know they exit the class knowing the basics, and then having the tools and feeling very empowered to learn French. So that's the goal of the trial class on Saturday. I'm gonna be sending the details soon.
Yeah, I would like to participate in this session. Um, uh, that is any something. Do you need any something else? For example, one fee or is
Oh no, it's free. The class is completely free. It's trial, and then the goal is for you for us to incentivize you to join eTalk as a student.
okay?
Sounds good. So perfect.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, guys. I really, really appreciate you sticking until the end. I really hope you got some value. And then yeah, if you can just use as much technology as you can to improve your language. And right now that you guys have some ChatGPT prompts, try to use them to improve whatever language you're learning. And then yeah, for French, we are gonna see you guys on Saturday.
Great. Thank you.
okay.
See
No problem.
you.
Thank you. Ciao,
See you.
ciao.
Yeah,
Michelle, Michelle, don't leave.
Uh-huh.
I have a question for you.
Okay, wow. A bien
Au revoir.
Okay, bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye bye. See you.
so
Ya
Michelle.
aquí estoy.